This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to WCFL DolFans Talk. Hope everyone's having a wonderful night. It's a beautiful day. We're live, we're above ground, and upright. It's all that matters. So let's go ahead and bring on our co-host, Mr. Johnny O.
What's up, Papa Paul? How are you, brother? Good to see you.
Like I said, I'm above ground and upright. It's a great day to be alive.
Hey, best place to be, right?
You know it.
Beats the alternative.
And we're here celebrating a victory this week.
Yes, we are. Victory Tuesday was yesterday. Anybody that had their Victory Monday shirts got to wear them for maybe a little more than 20 minutes when the game ended. So,
well, and another thing is we're already 7.5 point favorites going into this weekend.
Yeah, we've made a couple changes, signed a couple linebackers, cut David Long Jr. They signed one linebacker yesterday, Dotson. They signed another one just today.
So they cut David Long Jr., huh?
Yep.
I guess he wasn't up to par with everything.
I mean, it depends on how you look at it. Like, coverage skills not as good, but he's team leader or second in tackles, solo tackles. You know.
Yeah, and that's what I thought. You know, I thought he was doing pretty good, but it just must not fit our scheme.
Yeah, well, I mean, they picked up Dotson yesterday, and then I just read it, and if I'd have to click out to go back and check, but they signed another linebacker today.
Hooked Up Joe, how you doing, my brother? Let me put the link out there. Saul will be on in shortly. He's on his way home.
Yeah, I saw that.
He's working every day from yesterday all the way till next Friday. So
No, I finished work today. I don't go back till Tuesday. So.
And when are you coming down? Thursday or Friday?
Friday.
Friday.
But
we'll be in town on Saturday afternoon.
Okay.
I don't know if anyone's getting together Saturday night or not.
I believe we're going to a hockey game Saturday night. So
we're staying at Miami Lakes this weekend.
Diana, no. Back up.
I was just looking back, turned around, and Diana's laying outside the office door, but we have a cat door that goes in the side there, and she had her head inside the cat door.
Look at me.
Checking in on Mama.
Making sure I was okay.
But yeah, it's going to be. I was surprised to see that we were already considered 7.5 point favorites for this weekend. I mean, I know Raiders don't have the best record or anything either, but they've been doing better than winning more than we have.
No, they've only won 2 games.
They only won 2? Oh.
Yeah, 2-7.
For some reason, I thought they had won 4 games altogether.
No, Raiders are bad. That doesn't mean you overlook them, because if you overlook them, they'll come in our house, beat us, and
Exactly.
that'll be the end of our season. So
Yeah, yeah. Um, you know Jedediah, right?
oh yeah,
He was, if you know, I know he was contacting me today. He was looking for a single ticket. If you know anyone that were,
what for Sunday's game?
yeah,
Oh, there's tons of people that got tickets. I see them on Facebook all over the place.
yeah. What's up, Hooked Up Joe?
Joe will know. What's up, Joe? Who's the linebacker we signed today?
Oh, I didn't see it.
I
Today was
didn't see it.
Monday, but I knew we cut Long short.
Well, we cut him, I believe, after we signed the other linebacker because we had to make room, and they cut the tight end Connor, or they put him on IR. They put him on IR for 4 weeks.
With Tanner Connor.
Tanner Connor. They put him on IR for 4 weeks to make room for the linebacker they signed today.
Right, that's more of us using the IR as part of our roster extension. That's part of what we
And
do.
well, we need a little bit more on defense, and we haven't really used Tanner Connor in the tight end position hardly at all. So
No, he was here for we like him because as a fan base, but he has not been doing much out there. And Long, when you look at the people that do film breakdown, they haven't been happy with Long. Like he might as well not be out there. So from the people that do film breakdowns, I think the cutting along was they're going to be happy about it. So I have to be happy about that, and I'm fine with it. He hadn't shown anything that makes him. I mean, roster spots are golden, especially as people start coming off IR. So we expected this to happen. We expected to lose some players on our team, and people are. To me, this is a plus. Actually, that we have enough people coming off IR and coming in to backfill. I mean, even if we're pulling in people, we're making changes and we're trying to progress because Long wasn't doing anything for us.
I got a question for you, Joe. You might know. What's the latest on Chubb?
Well, there's no way to know because you know how McDaniel is. He's like, I'm going to tell you nothing. I'm going to tell you nothing, and now I'm going to talk for 5 minutes to punish you for asking.
Exactly. Yeah.
The only thing on Long right now is nothing, literally. If they decide they're going to activate him, then he's got a 21-day practice period. Then they can act. In that time they can activate him to the roster, but they haven't even done that. So I don't expect to see Chubb this year unless it's late in the year and we're making a playoff push because we've won 4, 5, 6 in a row.
Exactly. If we win 3 in a row, I expect Chubb to come off. And then if they decide they don't want to use the roster spot for whatever reason, they'll just say, no, he didn't make it and put him on for the rest of the year because it's not that long. And if we have a shot, he'll come back. And on rotation, especially, I think that's a key is that we have a good rotation. And that's part of what keeps us alive on defense.
Well, and I got to watch the game this weekend this Monday night. I got to watch the game with Pam and Joe.
That was fun. Thanks for joining.
Yeah, well, the bar, I wasn't really having a watch party because Monday nights no one hardly shows up at all or anything, but they were actually closed, so I didn't go there. And I don't have local channels on my TV to watch any of that. I looked everywhere on it, and it wasn't on any of the streaming services. So
it was on Hulu.
I don't get Hulu, so
okay.
Right, I was stuck without it too, so I was so glad I've been working so hard on these streaming services because if it weren't for that, I would not have been watching it. I did have it on NFL Plus probably because I have NFL Plus, so I have a way to stream my phone to my screen, and then I can stream that, but the audio is like tinky and goes in and out.
My wife wasn't watching; she was just listening, and she was just enjoying Miss Pam. She goes, it's worth just listening to Miss Pam.
Absolutely.
when she was away, she was like not available one week at all, and the next week she came in about halfway through, and we were just getting the stream set up, and the feedback we kept getting was, "Where's Pam?" It wasn't anything about like the stream changed or anything else. It was like, we want
Where,
Pam back. So we had to make sure that we didn't have just like we've been working hard to make sure that the audio and the video are fantastic, right?
yeah.
But then people were like, well, I don't want good audio. So what we're going to do next week, this week I couldn't get the game on broadcast, so we couldn't do it. But next week, what we're going to do is we're going to I have it set up so you can join and everybody can chat like we normally do, but you can pick two streams. You can pick the Pam stream where she's talking, and you can pick another stream that I'll be streaming that is the game with just the game audio. So
Yeah.
some people were like, I want game audio, right? So one person's bug is another person's feature, right?
Well,
So
Miss Pam to me makes it because she has so much. She has enough energy for everybody. The way she is and stuff.
yeah, and her tone, I mean, just everything she does, the feedback with everybody, like she looks at everything everybody says real time, and she's like engaged the
Well,
entire game.
like the whole one
It's
play
so much
where
fun.
she was calling, he stuck his finger in his ear. And she was hollering about that before they even brung it up on the TV.
Yeah. And the way she says it too, the announcers just can't say it the same way. She's
Exactly.
like, what the hell are they doing?
Oh yeah, you could tell the Rams were getting pissed about the way things were going because it wasn't going their way.
Absolutely.
Defense played a great game. I mean, they went back to the bend, don't break, give up a little bit of play here, a little bit of play there, and then they would make a play and get a sack or tackle behind a line or a turnover, and that's what you want to see.
Yeah, yeah. Did you see Calais Campbell's interview?
No.
I loved it because he is all about it, and he plans on playing until he can't.
Good. I hope he comes back next year. I hope they can keep him.
And the fact that we had 2 wins the entire season, and they asked him if he wanted to stay or if he wanted to be traded. Just because that's how we are. We let players go. We're like, why didn't we get anything for that player? It's because
his exact words was he plans on playing until the wheels fall off.
And that's going to be a while because his wheels are he is a dually. He's got double wheels on both sides.
Yeah, he takes care of himself, and he works.
Exactly.
He works hard during the off season to keep himself in shape. And it shows. It really shows why he's been in the league so long.
He should be our strength and conditioning coach when he retires. I'm 100% serious on this. The way that he has people fly in, multiple people from different parts of the country to take care of his body while he's in season, and he has specialized equipment at home, and he takes care of his stuff
I agree with you.
I've ever heard of.
I think if more players replicated after him, we'd probably have less injury.
Seriously, yeah. I'm not joking about that. I'm saying he really should. And the way that Tyreek Hill, he does these has Tyreek Hill ever had a hamstring? Has he ever been, as much as he runs full speed, all out, all the time, he's never had a hamstring problem because he's
had ankle, and lately it's the wrist.
Right, but nothing on the hamstring. He does these crazy hamstring exercises where he lays down, does these reverse sit-ups, where he's laying on his belly and he lifts his whole body up with his hamstrings. You might have seen the video of him doing that. And that's where I was talking about that sort of thing should be shared. Like he was doing it with Waddle, and him and Waddle were both doing it. Of course, Tyreek Hill's going to do it better because he doesn't do it forever. And he was like, just doing it. And Waddle was trying. But it was the fact that Waddle was doing it and exercising that to keep his hamstrings from blowing out later. And that's to me, the NFL should have a mandate or just an unspoken rule that things related to player health and that whole strength and conditioning should be universally shared. You shouldn't have an advantage because your players are more healthy in a way, because for the good of the league, you want to have healthy players. So there should be like a unification of all of the strength and conditioning coaches to share all of their information and try to help the entire league be healthier and not have these problems. Stop thinking that concussion is the only injury that matters.
Yeah. Well,
Well,
you know what
yeah.
I've noticed with things is ever since he's had the concussion, Devon Chan's been wearing the Guardian cap.
That's because Achan is all business.
Yeah.
He doesn't do end zone celebrations ever. Have you ever seen him? He does not do it. He is all business. He catches the
Yeah.
ball, he's done, he's next play. He doesn't get caught up in anything. And that's what I love. That's why Achan, as much as I love Tyreek Hill as a fan player and what he brings and what he does, his
No,
electricity.
A-Chan is a very
But
quiet person, very to himself.
And he's actually my favorite player on the whole team. It was Tyreek Hill, but Achan has stolen me over as my favorite player on the entire team.
Well, I was all about A-Chan from the time we drafted him.
A smart man.
Yeah, talking about celebrations and stuff. That celebration that they did in the end zone, Tyreek Hill. I mean, come on, bro. You're fighting a wrist injury and you go do some WWE move and you both land on your back. I mean, all you need to do is hit something the wrong way or smack the back of your head and you're out of the game.
Yeah.
That was a dumb celebration.
Well, who was it that went out on concussion protocol? It was someone actually. They kept him out the rest of the game, and they said concussion protocol.
Oh, yeah, he's still under concussion protocol. They're saying he might miss this week too.
But I watched the play. I'm like, he didn't even hit his head on anything. And they're calling it concussion protocol. Are they going to start calling everything concussion protocol now?
Listen, we're lucky Tua didn't get taken out when he made that tackle and stuck his head down and got kicked in the side of the head.
I agree. And I got to laugh at that because it's one of the Studs and Duds article. Tua's tackling technique was a dud.
Yeah. I get, you got that mentality. You threw the pick. You want to get over there, get him out of bounds. Just keep your head up and push him out of bounds. Run straight into him, chest to chest. I mean, don't stick your head down.
And if you don't know how to tackle, just act like you're going to tackle him and let him run out of bounds. You know what I mean?
Right.
They were right there. I mean, if he went like raw, he would just run out of bounds. You know what I mean? There's no reason to like dive head first into his knee. I mean, or whatever. It's just.
But I mean, we had a lot of studs. I mean, no dud. They did say a chance was a dud on his running, but it wasn't necessarily his running. It's the defense had a good run stop.
Well, that and the offensive line wasn't blocking well for the runs this game. So,
but the offensive line gave Tua a lot of time on a lot of plays, more than enough time to make plays. I don't know why Tua was trying to scramble and force things in the sense of where if he would have just threw the ball away, we wouldn't have had all those sacks and lost yardage and things.
That was almost the theme of the game, was Tua hanging on to the ball too long.
Yeah.
And
Tua actually kind of seemed surprised that he had that long, and he was like, damn, I never hold the ball. What am I supposed to do with it?
Yeah, I exactly.
Part of he's been throwing the ball away, and it's been getting intercepted because he hadn't thrown it far enough, or he threw it and something happened, or he started to throw it, just like what happened in this game. There was one play in this game where he started to throw the ball, and it got out of his hand. It was a fumble, right, or whatever it was, because he was trying to get rid of the ball and it was too late. So one thing about Tua is he can see the field, he does all that stuff, but when it comes to like when he's about to get just trounced, he isn't making the right decision. And I'm a Tua fan. I'm not trashing Tua, you know what I mean? I'm a positive person, but it seems to me that when that particular situation happens, when he's in distress, he isn't making the right decision. So I think right now he's taking the sack instead of making the turnover. And what won us this game is the fact that we had one penalty the entire game.
Yes, that was.
I mean, we've been talking about we don't have discipline. The problem is our team doesn't have discipline, right?
And that was one of the studs this week was our discipline.
And I think that shows that Mike McDaniel has not lost the room, because everybody was all talking about we don't have discipline, and that's the big problem, right? And the players, they stepped up and they played technique. They concentrated on their technique, and that's what the you hear all about, and it all seems like a bunch of bullshit, right? It's technique, but that's what it was. This week it was concentrating on doing your job, making the right technique, not making the stupid mistakes, right? And Eichenberg should get an award for that headbutt, right? They headbutted him, and he just like if some guy walks up to you and headbutt you, just jump backwards and fall on the ground and start flopping around and make them freaking throw the flag, right? That was 15 free yards by Eichenberg.
And a first down,
play. That was a heads up play. That's what, when you talk to people that don't know football, you say you have to have brains to play this game. And there's such an intricate game between all the penalties and the way you have to line up and the way you have to be in all the right spot at all the right time when all that stuff's happened. The ball's shaped funny and bounces funny and everything's made to make it all go wrong. And you have to do all this right. Football is the most complex sport. I mean, you talk about having to have brains. It's not a big bunch of dumb guys out there. These people have to have some smarts. And that's why football is so cool, you know?
And a lot of times, Joe, you're right, because the difference between a guy getting drafted and a guy not getting drafted, or a guy making a roster and getting cut, may be their understanding of the game.
Yeah.
You know, ability could be very similar, but the one that understands the game and sees it better is the one that makes the roster or is the starter. Or,
for example, look at Eli Apple. Wasn't it Eli Apple that couldn't learn the system?
Yeah.
Hey, Scotty just said something real important. Can you look at what he just said? Because that's
bring it up. Yeah. I hate the fact that the Jets coach is getting mocked right now because he is instituting a tackling fundamentals back into practice. Every team should.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. You can't even practice with real tackling. You're like, we're not going to add pads, and really, actually, people that touch each other, and it makes sense. I mean, it's a double-edged sword. If you had people out there tackling all they could, you're injuring a lot more than a 53-man roster. If you're tackling in practice, but if you don't practice, that's why understanding tackling, it has to happen before you get to the NFL because of the new rules, right?
Yeah, most definitely.
How to tackle, you're not going to know how to tackle after you get to the NFL unless they come up with what Scotty was talking about with tackling fundamentals. And that's where you talk about the fundamentals. You work on it. You work with a dummy. You do whatever you can do within the confines of the rules that the new NFL allows, and you make sure people know how to tackle. Because how many times we need a tackle brick, which is a foam brick that's tackle, that when we don't tackle right, we throw it at the television, and we need a lot of them. We are yelling tackle at our television all the time.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, I mean, we're yelling, get the son of a, all that. Yeah, how many times are we yelling, get them and come on? Outside of the Rams games, our tackling has been awful this year.
I think we've been talking about tackling fundamentals and stuff too. I think because that's what they've been talking about is fundamentals, and you can't do fundamentals without thinking about tackling when you're a defense. Because
Yeah.
Weaver, that's been all. Weaver's impressive. I have to say, I was not happy that we got Weaver, and I mean, I was super happy we got Fangio, and I wasn't happy when we got Weaver, and it's just been the exact
And
opposite
look, yeah,
twice.
look how it worked out. Yeah.
I know. I have no idea anymore. I just stopped thinking this
Well,
week.
I mean, you look at. I was impressed with some defensive plays I just seen during training camp.
Yeah.
They were different.
The players are
And
bought in,
yeah,
and he has the right. See, I think what part of this is that we had certain players for a certain scheme, and then we got Fangio, which is a completely different scheme. So Fangio was working with players that was designed for more of like a Flores type scheme, and the Fangio is a hybrid, right? So but it's leaning towards Flores, a little bit, and the fans just they worked into that, but he's not all Flores either, and but I
yeah.
think he took over a roster that really helps him implement his concepts.
Well, Scotty says our zone coverage is still terrible in his opinion. So soft.
I mean, that's the bend don't break. Listen, between the two receivers, they
Yeah,
were 180 something yards, but they didn't get to the end zone. So I'll take it.
yeah,
If you had said to me before the game that we were going to hold LA to 6 field goal chances, they were going to make 5 of them, and I had to place a bet on that, I'd have lost my house.
Or no touchdowns. If you said if they
Right.
were going to score, because they're an explosive offense. That's the thing about them. They tore us up on stats. I mean, if you just break down the stats, we had even time of possession. They blew us away on stats, but the stat they didn't blow us away on was penalties. The
yeah.
combination of us holding them, us sticking to our fundamentals, and them not, and then blowing the play at all the wrong times, headbutting Eichenberg at the stupid time, all those things that you kind of attribute to what we've been doing, they
Yeah.
did, and we didn't, and we won the game. And that's the
And
difference maker.
Scotty just said our guys don't understand when playing zone, you cover any receiver in it, man up. Our guys don't seem to understand that. There again, it's your opinion. I think, like John said, we've done really well to keep them from not. I mean, look how close they were to getting a touchdown, but never got the touchdown at the same time.
Right.
And
The object of the game is to win. The
there was,
defense played well enough to keep them in front of them at all times, not give up a big huge plays. Yeah, there's a couple plays here and there, but you're playing another NFL team. You're not going to hold them to 0 yards. And anybody that thinks that, you obviously don't know football. I mean, you're
I
playing
got,
against one of the best wide receiver tandems in the league, and you keep them out of the end zone, and you win the game 23-15. It's
I think
hard.
I got a question on this for you guys. I believe it was right before halftime. We still had 1 or 2 timeouts left, and they were going to kick that long field goal. Why didn't we call a timeout to try and ice the kicker like a lot of coaches do?
That's 2 weeks in a row he didn't do it. So I mean, you'd have to ask Mike that. You're never going to get an answer because he'll just walk around it for 5 minutes. But
Yeah. Well, Scotty just said our D-line rattled Stafford enough to make up for our soft coverage. Stafford had that TD to the running back, but didn't see it.
Scotty, I'm not sure how you can call it soft coverage when you're playing one of the best wide receiver duos in the league. You can't give up the big plays to go to those guys because they will make you pay for it. You got to keep everything in front. If that means at times they're going to get a 15-yard, a 20-yard completion, it's going to happen. I
they did
don't
that
think
a
it
lot
was.
more than we did.
Well,
Even. They
I
had
tell you what, I was I was impressed with that sack that the Snowman got. And Chop Robinson was right there at his feet too. Chop had a hell of a game as far as I'm concerned.
You can see Chop is getting better week by week.
Yeah.
He's learning the NFL game. And if you go back, just look in recent years, what did everybody say about Wilkins after his first year?
Yeah.
He's a
I
bust.
mean,
He's a
I
bust.
think
He's no good. And every year he improved. This is
the
Chop's
fact
first
of
year.
the fact I know Jalen Phillips has been helping Chop with things too, and it shows.
And Jalen struggled his rookie year.
Yeah.
When you make that jump from playing in college to the NFL, I'm trying to think of a comparison, but it's such a different game. It's so much faster. It's so much stronger. You get hit harder. Yeah, there's hits in college football that are hard, but you're getting hit by an 18, 19, 20-year-old kid. Now you're getting hit by grown men who have reached their peak. It's a different game. It's a different world out there.
Yeah.
Hey, one thing I want to go back to is that what Scotty was saying about our zone. Our zone is bad. When you get to the point where they did blow us out on stats, we had the same exact time possession. They blew us out when it comes to stats. They had a lot more actual progress.
They moved the ball a lot. They just never scored.
That's because you can't play zone defense in the red zone. So that's the point is when it comes to the zone defense, they can just tear us up. When we get into, if we don't let them score and we get them into the red zone and they can't play zone defense, that's where we stop them. And that shows in this game.
And something Scotty says right here is probably one of the reasons they cut Long is he says you're not understanding the term soft zone coverage. Go look at the difference between Long and Walker. Long played soft zone. Walker does not.
Oh, okay. I thought he was just calling the zone itself soft, not a soft zone. Yes.
So
big difference. Now I get what he's saying.
And but that's probably one of the reasons Weaver wanted to cut Long then.
Well, Long can't cover. I mean, it's real simple. He can't cover.
Yeah.
He makes a lot of tackles, but he also makes a lot of mistakes shooting the wrong gap. When your defensive end is trying to hold the corner and he's shooting behind him to the outside instead of covering his gap. I mean, you go back and look at it on the film breakdowns. Long's in the wrong spot quite a bit.
Yeah. Fins up, Lewis. Thank you for joining us, brother. It's one of the things. Oh, on a different subject, I really meant to say. I don't know if you've seen. Remember Trill Williams? He is signed with WWE.
Yeah, I saw that. Look up if you have your computer, Papa Paul. Look up the linebacker we signed today.
See what I can find.
And one thing I want to talk about is we've been talking about how other teams build from the draft and all this stuff, right? And to do that, you have to have a semblance of either a great starting point or patience, right? Because just like Wilkins, you just have to have patience in these players. We knew that Chop was a player that we were going to need to build in order to be an NFL level player because of his just where he was in his progression of being a player, right? And I think he's matching or exceeding where people expected him to be, right? I think that he's going to be. I think he might be right at or exceed Wilson, and we need to be thinking about soon as we can re-sign. If he does, we need to be trying to re-sign him soon and not lose him like we did.
Well, unfortunately, Greer waits. I mean, Wilkins improved every year, and after year 3, they probably could have signed him to a long-term deal for a lot less money, and Greer didn't want to, and Wilkins bet on himself, and it turned out fantastic for him. He got the huge deal. It just Greer does not like signing guys when they still have time left on their contracts.
It was Fuller who was the concussion.
Yeah, that's yes, Fuller.
Oh yeah,
I'm
second
looking at
concussion
some other.
too. And the
Yeah,
second concussion in 1 year is kind of a thing in the NFL because if they don't want you to get another one and be like that's going to be a problem. So they might hold him out for a while on that. They're being they're being cautious with that particular
and
issue.
they're also expecting Austin Jackson to be out for the rest of the year.
Yeah, he's done. He's done for the year, which sucks, but
Yeah,
it is what it is.
trying to see if there's anything.
Yeah, you could see we don't have power in our offensive line. When it came to those plays where you just need to try to power in for something, I mean, we were getting our third downs and everything, but when it came to like we were getting overpowered, they were just the whole line was moving the wrong direction this game to me. It was all scheme that made us win this game. Scheme and not having penalties and doing all the right things. There were our offensive line, we're not pounding the ball. I mean, as much as we do and especially if they step up on us and they push us back and then they cover the edge, we're not getting anywhere in the run game. So all of our run game is really based on us being able to have a passing game and making that spread. Once they start stepping up, we are not running the ball at all.
Well, just reading here, they're still unsure about Chubb. They're saying it's not ready yet. But they're saying Cameron Good, who last year suffered a patella tendon tear in week 17, the same time that Chubb tore his ACL, is a bit ahead of Chubb in terms of recovery.
Yeah.
Which still doesn't say much.
No.
Look,
How are you, brother?
I would be better if StreamYard would get their shit the fuck together. I was thinking.
I'm sorry, winners. We're ready to call the show. You have a good night, brother.
That's cool. I've been watching you for the last 10 minutes, so you bullshitting. Anyway.
I told you last week I was having trouble.
Yeah, like I literally went through Inner Studio. I didn't even hit the link. I went through Inner Studio on StreamYard. So I'm like 1 2 1 2, and my mic wasn't working. So I said, let me take my Bluetooth off, turn the Bluetooth off. Even still, 1 2 nothing. I'm like, for like 10 minutes, I've been fooling around with this. StreamYard, get y'all shit right. How you guys doing tonight?
Good, yourself?
I'm good. I'm here with you guys.
I'm great. I'm great that we're talking about victory. Still, we celebrating that victory, and I'm looking forward to waxing the Raiders this weekend coming up.
Look what I found, winners.
Oh shit! That's finally.
What is it?
It's one of his Dutches.
Absolutely.
Oh,
I'll be right back.
He stashed him somewhere, so you had him the next time he comes down.
Yeah, and I forgot to bring it with me last time. I couldn't find it, and the wife found it. It's like, what is this? Well, that's one of Winter's cigarettes.
Nothing on a linebacker.
No, let me see if I can pull something up directly.
Winters, did you see which linebacker we signed today?
No, I haven't done any background stories or any Miami Dolphin anything today. No, all I saw was what Elliott said about playing with soft players last season.
Yeah, Cater Cole, who made a comment back to him about
that. Yeah, I read that. I definitely read that. Woo. And I think the rest of the locker room is not happy with that dude either. So they better pray we don't see them in the playoffs. Because they definitely going to be going after him. Trust and believe.
I'm not freezing up, Papa Paul. I'm going to check and see if I can't find it.
I'm trying to look for it.
You talking about the guy from the Seahawks or somebody else that we signed today?
I don't know.
Because there was a guy from the Seahawks that when we released Peely, we got somebody from the Seahawks, a linebacker.
No,
from the
we
Seahawks.
picked
So
we released David Long,
correct. So we picked somebody else
and
up.
we picked someone else up today.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't done any searching.
Okay, Scotty, it might be Stoll because we talked about Dotson and we knew we picked up Dotson, but
Yes, that's who it was. Stoll.
Stoll, yeah,
So Dotson was yesterday. Stoll was today.
Okay.
picked them off of waivers. So yeah,
Is it any word of what the reason why we released Peely?
I haven't heard or seen anything.
They're not going to give us a reason.
They're never going to give us a reason. Stahl is the tight end from Philly.
No, there was a linebacker that we picked up today.
Yeah, but I'm reading what Scotty's putting in the comments.
Oh, Stahl is a tight end from Philly.
All right,
said.
no, there was a linebacker.
That's the Dotson's from the Seahawks.
Yeah, Dotson's from the Seahawks, but
Right.
Johnny's gonna check some more, so I can't find nothing. So how's your day been besides working all day, Winners?
Basically, that's it, brother. Work, more work. And now here chilling with y'all brothers. What's going on, Hooked Up Joe?
What's up?
Another lovely day in paradise. You already know, man.
Yep. Happy hump day. Getting ready
Happy
for
hump
another
day.
win. Another big win. Another nice win at home, right? Back-to-back home wins. We're in the midst of some good times, I believe.
I mean, I say this, so definitely Engel was missed during this game because you could tell the blocking for our running was not as good as it could have been. Engel makes that work a whole lot. People look at tape, people look at the contended games or the all 22s, and if you break that game down or any game, Engel is definitely a key to our run offense, and you could definitely tell. You know, my little negatives and positives. Mike McDaniel needs to stop making things look predictable. When Jalen Wright was out there, you can clearly know and see that was going to be a run play, and it just seemed like it was too predictable for the defense. So that was just my take on that. I'm happy that the fact that our defense decided to show up and sat there and played lights out and give up no touchdowns this past Monday night.
Yeah.
Which is huge, especially on the road too. Sheesh.
Mike, Saul even had trouble trying to get in. You got to keep clicking on it if you want to get in. If you don't, that's okay. I understand. It's been a pain in the ass. I don't know why.
Yeah, because StreamYard better get their shit right. This is ridiculous. I'm sitting there, I'm like, what? No. I'm sitting there like 1 2 1 2. Usually pops up. Then all of a sudden I'm like, okay. Let me turn some stuff off. Let me, click some links off or whatever. Shoot, that wasn't it.
I haven't had a problem with StreamYard. Everybody's been talking about it, and I've been hearing even like when you're looking at Facebook, they're like StreamYard was a problem, and I switched.
And see, I don't have a problem getting in either.
Right.
And that's the hard part as a computer person. If you can't recreate the problem and understand what's going on, it's sporadic. That's the worst problem to have. It's like, what do you do? People are just randomly having problems. That's bad.
Right.
I couldn't find it. So
Scotty's saying Rams played too high 93% of the game and most in a game ever, I heard.
Second most in a game since 2018, I believe it was.
It didn't work. It didn't work this time because we still got in there and we starting to show how we can beat that too high safety now. And that's what I'm really loving to see. We can't, my whole thing is, we gave up we gave up an interception. Tua get hit a little bit too much for me. That's like, we can't, Eichenberg, I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I wanted to jump through the fucking TV watching him get pushed around like a rag doll and letting our quarterback get sacked like that.
Yeah, that was the we were talking about power. We just they just push us around exactly, and we
But
run backups around that too.
but
Right.
I tell you what, the difference maker was Steeler.
Oh
Well,
yeah.
Sealer and Calais Campbell, those two just work well together. They communicate
Yeah.
well together.
Well, but Sealer, out of 42 snaps that Sealer was in, he was double teamed 25% of the time.
Also, don't forget about Deshaun Hand. Another week making huge plays. He caused a fumble and he sat there and I think he got a sack also. And he sat there and I think he blocked a pass. He's been coming into his own. He's been showing up when we least expect him to. And I'm loving the fact that he's kind of the quiet guy that doesn't get mentioned on the defense. He gets his hands dirty and he does the things that allows other players to sit there and get plays off also as well. So I'm gonna give it up for Deshaun Hand. And like I said, I told my coworker, I said, you need to sit there and call Deshaun and let him know about my show so we can try to get him on the show. Because I work with
Yeah.
his cousin. I literally work with his cousin. And I
Yeah.
told her, I said, you need to let him know about the show. And she's like, okay, I will. I said, okay.
Let's see
And
here.
I'd like
Let's
to
look.
on Scotty just was talking about Rams playing the too high for 93% of the game. The
Mhm.
problem that I see with that is that they were also stepping up and stopping our run. They were stacking the box. And the question is, how can you run the too high safety 93% of the time and still feel like they're stacking the box on us on our run? And that's because our offensive line has no power. They're just
Yeah.
able to overpower us on the front end and run a too high safety, and that's our big weakness. That's our Achilles heel right there,
Mhm.
is the ability for the other team to run a too high safety and still stop our run. We didn't have penalties, we did everything right, and we just won this game by other things, and it was not that. And when we play the better teams, when you talk about us playing the better teams, granted, if we had Sealer back, we probably would have beat the Bills. The Bills are they're a better team by stat only, but this team we played on the Rams, they're a real team, you know. But they did it. They did it to us. And when we play a better team than the Rams and they can run a too high safety and stuff our run, we cannot win that
Uh,
game.
Okay, some of the stats. Deshaun Hand did not have a sack.
Okay, so he had a fumble. I
He,
know that for
he
a
had a
fact.
he had a forced fumble. Forced fumble. Yes.
Got you.
Campbell, Holland, Quentin Bell, and Chop Robinson all had a sack.
Yeah, they went to town.
And Quentin Bell had a forced fumble as well.
Hmm. Defense showed up. We got to give the defense their props, and they kept them out
And
there. They
Anthony
kept them out.
Walker.
Yeah, yeah.
Did you know in the NFL stats going into the game? Because you know how you go to the game preview and they show you the stats with all the little chart and all that kind of stuff. And I used to post those all the time in the Facebook and say, "Here's the chart. Look, we're like," and it would show where we are. Our defense was number one. So, and you saw that probably, Papa Paul. I kept posting that on our chat. I posted
Yeah.
like 3 times, right? And just we have a skewed stat on Monday night because they played all the Sunday games. So when you look at the Monday night game, your stats are real time. So what they're looking at right then is like how many yards your defense gave up and all that kind of stuff. And when there's a 1 game difference this part of the year,
The
it's a skewed stat. But we were still
well,
number one. And that
the,
if you're
the
close
stats
enough to
I
get number one,
yeah that the stats
that's
I
good.
look at are basically just the tackles, total tackles, assists, sacks, interceptions, and forced fumbles. It doesn't give me all that other stuff. Jordan Brooks led the tackles. He had 11 tackles, 5 assists. Then we had Anthony Walker with 9 and 6, and Jordan Poyer with 7 and 5. But defense played lights out, really.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did. I mean, we all sat there and been getting on the defense for the last 3 weeks. They showed up this week. They definitely showed up this week, and if we can have some consistency, we're going to be a dangerous team, gentlemen. We are going to be that team that you cannot look at our record and believe what you see. And
Yeah.
I hope it started just this past Monday night. Because they already know, these men know what it is. It's do or die every week. We control our own destiny. We cannot slip up. We have to give 110% every time we play, either Sunday, Monday, flex, don't matter what time of the day it is. We got to show up and show out every single week. Doesn't matter
Maybe,
how cold it's going to be in Green Bay.
maybe
We
one
need
of
to
you
show up.
guys know, where did Jordan Brooks come from?
Oh, I meant just like out of the blue. I mean, I kind of follow the team and I'm like, what the hell is this? And this guy's like making all these plays. I'm like, where the hell did he come from?
Yeah,
Yeah, he's been this
I mean,
year. He's
he might have
been
done,
all
but
over it.
man, yeah, I've been and it's just one of those players you don't hear about, you don't really talk about, and they're making plays, and that's the players you want to see. That shows that you have the ability to find talent, grow the talent, put the people in that are going to make the right plays, regardless of whether you know the name or not. I really like Weaver and his whole approach and the way everything's happened on this defense.
Scotty, I will agree with you somewhat. As I'll put it up on the board here, as he says, defense was good, guys, but he has to be the guy that reminds everyone we didn't stop a drive in the second half again this game. If it wasn't for the penalty on one field goal, the Rams scored every drive. No, they did not score every drive because their first drive was 3-and-out. That was right off the bat.
He's talking about the second half. Of the
second
game.
half, not the first half.
And that has
Well,
been now Scotty's making a great point. In the second
Yeah.
half of the game, our defense have not it's a weird thing because in a way you're like, wow, we've really adjusted and did some good things, but at the same time, the second half has been abysmal for us this season. And
Yeah,
Not the whole season, because early in the year he was making the adjustments and we were shutting them
okay,
out in the second half.
you're absolutely right.
It's
been
the
like
last
Jekyll
3 or
and
4
Hyde.
games where, for whatever reason,
You're
we're not
absolutely
making the adjustments and we're giving up a lot more points in the second half than we were early.
yeah, you're absolutely right on that.
And that's a
We've
coaching
been-
problem. That's a coaching
we've been-
problem as well. So, what it is they're finding, 'cause one thing I've kind of seen in that game was they were finding holes in our defense to throw in. So when we do go against a Raiders, when we do go against a Patriots, and even when we do go against a Green Bay in Green Bay, there are going to be certain things in this defense that they're going to have to tighten up on. The thinness at secondary worries me. I'm not going to sit here and lie to anybody on this panel. To sit there and see Kohu go out, and then luckily he was able to come back in, I think after he sat out a play, was a blessing. Because we really thought that when he started clutching his knee like that, I was like, oh no. You always think of the worst.
Yeah.
You always think of the worst. So
Yeah, it was nice to see him come back in the game.
Yeah, it was.
Well, if you actually look at that play, Kohu did the smart thing. He knew he wasn't injured.
Right.
He went knee to knee. They smacked knees. He went down. He stayed on the field as long as he could so that his leg would feel better. He had to obviously come out for the play, or they would have had to use a timeout to keep him in there. So he sat on that field as long as he could to see if the pain would subside. And then he got up, he walked off, they ran a play, he came right back out.
Yeah, and honestly, going back, the Rams did not score a point in the third quarter. And they started off with the ball.
That's facts.
So they scored 3 field goals. They scored 3 field goals in the fourth quarter is all they scored.
Yeah, they scored 2 in the first half, 3 in the fourth quarter.
2 in the second quarter, 2 in the fourth, 3 in the fourth quarter. I mean, we scored points every quarter at least.
There you go.
And we got like 7 out of 10 of our drives we scored on. So
and every time they kicked one in the second half, we went right down and kicked one to match it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I think this was a complete game. Like our offense had to actually do the scoring in order to win, and the defense actually had to do some semblance of stopping and making them kick field goals and make it that 8-point game. That's been the difference. If it's a 1-point game, we're losing this year so far. That's the way it's been, right? And this game, going in the game, everyone was even talking about it. We need a 2-point lead going late into the game. If we have a 1-point lead, it's dangerous. So that 8 points was just so critical for us to keep that 8. And it was almost in line exactly with what we had been talking about the previous week, was keeping that 2-point all the way close to the end, and our defense being able to just keep them from getting the 2 points. We just need to make them have to really do it. We need to make them not just have to get 3. If they only need 3 to win, we are losing the game with our defense right now, as much as I love them. But
that was the good thing with the offense, is when they did kick one to make it 8, Tua was able to bring them down the field. Yeah, we didn't get touchdowns, but kick a field goal, we're up 11 again. Rams got the ball, drove it down, kicked the field goal. They're only down 8. We drove back down, kicked the field goal, made it 11 again.
Well, we had 2 touchdowns and 3 field goals altogether.
Yeah, but in the fourth quarter, we only had field goals. So
2 field goals in the fourth quarter, 1 touchdown in the third quarter.
Yeah, and then that's what gave us the lead, and then we would match. They'd kick one, we'd drive down and kick one.
All I know is our quarterback don't need to be making any more tackles, leading with his fucking head, and just get the fuck out of the way of the fucking defender that intercepts your pass. I understand you're a football player. I understand that you want to be the warrior. I understand you want to make the play and make it right. But, brother, you cannot be taking a knee to the side of the head like an MMA fighter. You just cannot be doing that at all.
Well, it seems like if he gets hit in the side of the head, he's okay. It's when he hits the back of his head. So, like I said earlier when you were listening, keep your damn face mask up, run into him chest to chest. Don't put your damn head down.
Yo, for real, because I'm not going to lie to you guys. When I seen that shit, I was like, oh, my. I was just like, yo. I
think we all were, but of course, as the reporter said, Tua's tackling technique is a dud this week.
Yeah, well, it was funny on Pedro's show last night. Somebody asked if Marino ever ran after somebody after he threw an interception and tackled him. Like, no, because Marino couldn't run.
You ain't never lied on that. He definitely wasn't known for running, but he had a cannon of an arm.
Yeah. And I'm just glad social media wasn't around back then, because the fan base would have been the same way. Half of them, he throws too many interceptions. He's too much of a gunslinger. He's this, he's that.
Oh, yeah.
Social media gives us this platform. It gives us the ability to get together and talk about it, but it also gives people the ability just to say some of the dumbest things.
And also, I get to see you again this Sunday, Johnny.
Yes, you will, brother. Hey, is there a hurricane coming in?
Yes.
When's it due?
Ollie, when's a hurricane due? Oh, not until next week.
Oh, okay. Middle of the week?
Middle of the week? Yeah. Tuesday, Wednesday.
All right, that's good, because I fly back Monday and fly back down Friday.
There you go. You'll miss it. There you go. You'll be leaving in the right time, and then you'll be coming back at the right time.
Well, I get to pick my truck up once again. They finally got it all. Well, they cleaned the fuel tanks. They had a part on the inside they had to replace. They replaced both fuel pumps. They had to replace some fuel lines. They had to replace the main fuel line that goes to the gas tank that you dispense gas into. That was cracked some, so they replaced that. Everything's working right as of right now, so knock on wood.
Where are you parking Sunday, orange or yellow?
Orange.
All right, good.
I got to make sure I switch everything over. And the wife will get to take her first ride in the truck, so I'll be driving, not her.
Okay.
I was gonna have her drive, but she's never even ridden in the truck, and I don't think she would like how it drives really, because it's old truck. It's a little sloppy in the steering wheel, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say this: to me, the seats in my truck are a lot more comfortable than the seats in any other vehicle I ride in these days.
Probably bucket seats, right?
Yeah, they're bucket seats. We have bucket seats in our car though, but
Right. But those are old school bucket seats.
they're nice and soft.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And they're in good shape too.
That's good.
They don't need to be memory foam. They have a good memory somehow anyway.
There you go.
Well,
There
I'll
you
still
go.
have a special seat cushion for me because I'm still having a lot of tailbone problems and stuff. So, Chef Jew, thank you for joining us, brother. What's good?
What's up, Chef Jew? What's up, Desi?
Yeah, we're 7.5 point favorites coming into this weekend, which I know Raiders are, as Johnny reminded me, Raiders aren't that good of a team, but I still didn't see us being 7.5 point favorites with the way we've been playing.
Well, I think the reason why Vegas is doing that is A, we're at home. That's number one. Excuse me, we're at home. Number
So,
two, they must know something about the Raiders that we don't know just yet. Or they have a game plan. They probably figure out Miami has a game plan. The ball is rolling now, and they feel that we're going to be going on the street. That point spread is a nice size point spread. We got to sit there and we got to play consistent football. So that's
yeah.
7.5. That's a give and take. That half might screw a lot of people. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I don't know, Scotty. Was Minshew was just announced?
Yes, he was. Yeah, Minshew was announced. I did see that on the internet. They did announce Minshew will be the starter for the Raiders.
Okay, since our ambassador's here, let's go ahead and do his commercial.
What's up, y'all? This is Chef Jew. Looking for a great chef for your next catering party, private party, office party, etc. with welcome watering meals and desserts? Let Chef Jew Catering and Sweet Treats take care of it for you at an affordable price. Call me at 786-804-8096. Also reach me at chefjewcatering@gmail.com. Direct message on Facebook and Instagram at Chef Juice Catering. Chef Juice Catering and Sweet Treats. Food with a passion. We do it all.
Yes, Hooked Up Joe. Definitely snack time. Chef Jew, Miami-Dade, Palm Beach area. Look them up. Sweet treats and good eats.
Minshew Mania is coming to the Rock.
Well,
Listen.
Chef Jew, I expect you to bring me one of those cheesecakes to the tailgate.
Oh my God. Oh my gosh.
As long as it doesn't cost me an arm and a leg.
Oh, and sidebar, gentlemen, I loved going into work and looking at every single person that bet against us on Monday night. Everybody was like, your team must my pool up. I said, why would you bet against Miami if you know that we run almost somewhat of the same similar system that they run? We know they run a different variation of Shanahan's offense, just like how we run a different variation of Shanahan's offense. We both come from the same tree. I said, did you not do your homework? You think Mike McDaniel don't know McVay from being in San Fran and different places and stuff like that? What is wrong with y'all? I started laughing. They won't do that again this week. I promise you that.
Well, I told you last week. I thought that line was funny. It was 2.5, went down to 1.5, went up to 2. I'm like, why is this line moving like this? What do they know that we don't know?
They knew. They knew with some possibilities, but just like you said, Sealer was huge.
Sealer, Holland, Cole.
Yeah, that defense looked completely different with them gentlemen on the field. It looks completely different.
Chef Jew, if you bring the personal size turtle cheesecake, it won't need to be on ice because I'll eat it right there. Trust me, I will eat it right there. My wife will join in with me, I'm sure.
Hey, put a jar in the front of your table. Cheesecake donation fund.
There you go. There
That's
you
right.
go. Absolutely.
I can't wait to. It's been a while since the home game. It seems like I can't wait.
Yeah,
But see, then
seems like it's been forever.
Couple
It
weeks
does.
since the last time I was down there.
well, it just seems like a lot longer than that.
It does. It does. When the Dolphins are on the road and you guys are not at the home games, it definitely feels like an eternity. It definitely does.
And then we have this week, and then we have next week against the Patriots. Then we have a very short week after the Patriots. We have Green Bay Thursday night.
And we're winning that one too. Away.
We are going to win that game.
Yeah,
And you know what?
We're on our throwback uniforms. We're away in our throwback uniform. We are not losing in our white throwbacks on prime time. We are the prime time masters. From now on, we're not
Michael Winters, what's up, my brother?
What's up,
What's
Mike?
up, family? What's good with you, cousin?
Well, you see, we have a West Coast home now. So
Yes,
far,
Yeah.
we beat the Chargers last year. We beat the Rams this year.
Oh man, and to hear the fan, you can hear the fans, John. That's what I loved watching the game on Monday night. I'm sitting there watching it on my computer, and I'm watching it on stream, right? So I'm streaming while watching the game, and they were like, "Is that the fans in the background?" I was like, "Yeah, you can hear the fans, right?" They're like, "Yeah." Like I loved hearing the fact that we travel and we travel so well.
Well,
Definitely.
especially out there, we travel well to those games.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
And yeah,
I think
Go
I
ahead.
told you guys last year the Chargers game. There was a lot. There was 50% Dolphins fans at that stadium,
well, that's
and I was talking to a couple Chargers fans. Probably in our age range,
yeah.
and I'm like, why is there so many Dolphins fans out here? And they both said, you got to remember, in the 80s, LA did not have any teams. The
Right.
Rams were in St. Louis,
Right.
the Raiders were in Oakland, and the Chargers were in San Diego. So a lot of kids that grew up at that time ended up being Miami fans because they liked Marino. They liked the way he threw the ball. They liked how he moved it all over.
Mm-hmm.
So when we go to LA, there's a lot of Dolphins fans in that area that are going to the game because they live there.
Right.
And we don't really go to that area that much, so people are coming from far and wide too, and that like expands the range. If we were going to somewhere, we go, in the area a lot. But here, we don't go out west. I mean, when we do, we maybe play 2 games and then come back, right? Something like that. So that's also a difference maker as far as us showing up.
Oh yeah, no, I mean that the opening game last year, the Chargers. That stadium literally was 50-50. It was 50% Dolphins fans, 50% Chargers. And there's a lot of Dolphins fans out in California because of Marino in the 80s and 90s. And
Yeah, I saw them on TV too, Chef Jew.
And the hair solo. Shout out to Delonte Copeland, aka Solo D from DWA Miami Sports Music. Tua Time was played globally on a Disney channel. Disney-owned channel ABC. Shout out to my brother. Success and continued success to you. Man, I wanted to jump out my damn bed when I heard. I was like, oh my God. I was like, my brother's song is playing on global television, not national television, global television.
Absolutely.
So to hear that, man, like, look, to see, shout out to Carol, shout out to Chris Barker,
Ben Sassen.
Shout out to NorCal and South Cal groups. Shout out to Mexico. Shout out to all the Dolphin fans that went out there and definitely showed up and showed out and represented to the fullest. That means so much to me to see all those fans out there. And like literally, I could hear them. I'm like, yo, they were like,
oh yeah.
Because even my friends on stream, like, is it a lot of Dolphin fans? I say, it's a lot of Dolphin fans out there. They're like, wow.
Well, even listening,
yeah, we made a
to
play. It was like,
even listening to Joe and Miss Pam's stream and everything,
Right.
I could hear it through there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't realize the game was on Hulu because I text my son. I said, "What channel's the game on?" He said, "ESPN." I said, "I don't have that." He goes, "Yeah, but Dad, it's on Hulu." So I went into Hulu, and sure enough, it was on there. So I had actually checked into Joe and Pam's stream a few minutes before the game started, and then my son texted me, and I went into Hulu, and I'm like, "Oh, I get to watch the game." So I turned the stream on.
Well, I watched it on the stream on my phone, and I enjoyed it. I was able to watch it. Great. Everything was perfect. I don't know if it was on the stream side or on my side. It would get a little blocky at times.
No, the TV was getting pixelated and weird too. So that was the broadcast. That wasn't
Right.
first streamer
You've seen the
anymore.
broadcast. When they're doing these streaming broadcasts, they do have problems. Even every broadcast, because everything uses streaming now. They don't just everything turns into max headroom every once in a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I wasn't. That's the first time I've watched it like that.
Yeah, overload. You're gonna always have an overload because you're gonna have a wave of amount of people on one stream, and when you get so many people on at one stream, it's going to either overload, sound like what Don and Hooked Up Joe said, or just shut down.
Well, especially when you have two at a time playing in the background. What do you expect?
Hey, that's what I'm talking about.
But I'm running a pretty big server, so we're not dropping out.
No, I appreciate it. It was great watching it with y'all, Joe.
Oh, I'm enjoying it, and I couldn't get it. I would have had to watch it on NFL Plus, like sharing my phone to my screen, but it was a lot more fun to listen. I enjoy even if you're watching the game somewhere else, you can join the chat on your phone. So you can go to the link, and on your phone or on a computer, you can join the chat and just watch everybody chat and chat along with everybody during the game. But if you're on an early stream, maybe wait 10, 15 seconds before you yell touchdown. But, you can...
Yeah, it was funny when Pam was over at my house last year for a watch party. We were outside, she was inside, and at one point, one TV was 10 seconds behind, maybe 5 seconds behind. But then it switched. The other TV was 5 seconds behind, and that TV. And it was like, okay.
But what the hell's going on here?
But then I'd be sitting outside, and you hear my wife and Miss Pam in here yelling, "Yeah!" And we're like, okay, we know something's good coming.
Even when I'm testing locally, I'll have like 3 different screens up, and they'll be all different times. Even though I'm in the same spot and I'm streaming, it's just like all about timing, and because the way the internet works, it's like it does a spray, and it goes all these different routes and everything, right? It's like, I mean, when you think about how it's amazing, it even works. I can't believe it works. I've been doing computers my whole life, and I can't believe it actually works. It's freaking unbelievable.
They got the synchronization. They got the synchronization down perfectly, Joe. You got to think about it, and it's really to the point right now where AI is a part of it as well. It's only going to sit there and get more to a perfect as possible. It's going to get down to like we're talking past milliseconds and all that and speeds. It's going to get ridiculous. Right now, we have servers in Japan that got speeds that are like so fast you couldn't even imagine.
Hey, Johnny, did you get the email from Miami about the cruise contest they're having?
I don't think so, no.
I got an email from them. You sign up. All you got to do is sign up, and they're going to be giving away cruises on MSC. Anywhere from 5 to 11-day cruises.
I'll have to keep an eye out for that.
And I mean, I've gotten it, and you can sign up more than once.
Now, is it because you're a season ticket holder, or?
I don't know. Well, you know what it is? I just remembered you wouldn't be able to do it. It's for Florida residents, I think.
Okay, yeah, and my season ticket is through Maria, so.
Yeah. But I try to sign up at least twice a day on it.
How many people is it for?
It doesn't say.
Oh, okay.
Usually there are at least two. But they're giving away, I think they're giving away more than one. They're giving away several. So, because it says 5 to 11-day cruises.
Well, good luck. I hope you win one of them.
Yeah, man.
Hey, we love cruising. So, which Friday, right after Thanksgiving, we head down to Miami to go on a cruise on Saturday. And then the Sunday that we get back, we got the Jets game.
Yeah, because you're going to get there just before game time, right?
I should be able to. We'll walk ourselves off, but we got to take a shuttle back to the hotel to get the truck. So it'll probably be around 11 o'clock about the time we get there. But we'll just be parking over in yellow.
Well, walk over and hang out with us under our tent.
Yeah. Have a good night, Scotty. Thank you for joining us, brother.
Hey, shout out to all the people that have been watching the stream. Shout out to the likes. Thank you guys for supporting us. Thanks to everybody who's been watching on every platform. We're close to 2 years, gentlemen.
Yeah, we're getting there.
Yeah, folks.
Yep. This February.
Can't believe it.
I
It's
know.
flying by. Flying by. Seriously.
Pedro keeps track of his weeks. I think this was week 12, episode 12. Papa Paul, you got to go back. We got to be episode now with as many as we do every week. We got to be 100 or 120 or something like that. Who knows?
No, we're well over 100 because
Yeah, all right.
we were doing one a week,
Right.
and that was 52 for the first year. And then we of course we had a couple of special shows here and there. And then since June, I think we've been doing 4 a week.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a lot.
Absolutely. So yeah. I mean, we're definitely well over 100. We definitely
We're probably around 200.
Yeah.
It's got to be close.
That seems closer because it is a lot. I mean, you look at the number of episodes. It's got
because this is truly the first full year that we've done. This is truly the first full year we've done Wednesdays. I know that. We'll actually say that. Then you said June we started doing 3 other episodes that have made 4 total. So yeah. So if you multiply that,
that's 6. That's usually at least 16 shows a month times 4 months. That's 64. Right? Yeah, 60. That's 64 shows right there.
Right.
Yeah, so we got to be in between 130 and 150.
Yeah, I'd say estimate about 130, 150. I feel that number.
Hey, people are still coming back watching. They're still jumping on, talking to us. They're still commenting. They're still wanting to be on here. So, hey, keep it going.
Hey, we must be doing something right.
Yeah.
And watching the show later and commenting and everything too. That's the thing is it's always there. You know what I mean? You can when you're going in, you're YouTube surfing or whatever. We're in the surf. We're part of the wave.
Actually, Papa Smurf said he caught us on YouTube TV.
Wow.
So I don't know how that managed, but I'll take it.
I'll take it too, man. I like that.
Yeah.
And YouTube TV is damn near everywhere. So you never know. You never know who's watching.
Yeah. And we're one of the originals for Huddle Sports. So
absolutely. Yep. Talking about that, are we back up on their site? Because I haven't been on there.
I don't know. I'd have to back out to see if he's look at it. He's supposed to be getting it taken care of. I'm just going with it. Our shows are on Huddle Sports. There's no I don't know if he's gotten the recordings back up there yet or not.
Yeah, because
I gotta get on that. I've been dealing with a lot here, so
I got you. No, you've been dealing with a whole lot that's way more important than that. I fully understand.
Family first.
Family first, without a doubt.
it's family and my own self-preservation.
Absolutely, and that's way more important than this.
So, but we are not on Wednesday nights on Huddle, and that's fine. I'm okay with that.
Oh,
But
they took us off.
well, there was a mix-up, and someone was on there at our time from 8 to 9, and already, and he missed. It was a miscommunication. So, but we're still on Saturdays, Sundays, and Mondays, just like we've always been. And I tell you what, as far as I'm concerned, Sunday's one of our better shows.
Well, yeah,
We get-
because Sunday's football day.
We get a lot of people, or even early in the morning. We get a lot of people.
Yeah, because there's a lot of people that are prepping up, just waiting for it's like pregame to the pregame.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, in our pregame, we're just talking about the Finns. We're not talking about all the other teams. So,
Yep. And this Sunday's going to be interesting. We'll see how it goes.
yeah.
At least I'll have the wife there with me this time, so she can manage to stand a little bit while I'm doing my show.
Right.
Coming up on
Games are
9.
fun when you're streaming you're streaming all the pregame and all that kind of stuff and the tailgates. I love watching the streaming of the tailgates. It's
well, that's the one thing people has asked me. You never have a problem? I'm like, I've never had a problem with my phone as far as streaming goes. At the home games.
No, the only problem we run into is if two of us get too close to each other with our phones.
Yeah, we get a little feedback and all, but otherwise, we have the stream comes across perfect. AT&T is who I have, and it runs perfect, really. Other people are like, I can't get service, and well, it's your carrier. It's not anything around here.
Right.
Well, I have Verizon. I have no trouble down there.
Yeah. See, so I don't know why people are like, because I was going to use, bring my laptop and use my phone as a hotspot, and they're like, you sure you got good enough service? I thought, yeah. No, but it's 9:25. I think we're going to call it a little bit early night tonight. I know John had a long day. I know Sal's had a long day. I don't know about you, Joe.
always it's been a long day as well. Fins up.
Peace, love, and fins up, everybody.
Give us prediction. Everybody's got to do their prediction before we leave.
Let's leave it to Saturday.
All right. We'll do it on Saturday.
We'll do it on Saturday when we see more of who might be out, who might be in, and stuff like that.
All right.
Absolutely.
Well,
So everyone have a blessed night.
Peace, love, and fins up.
Peace, love, fins up. Good night, everybody.